Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Actually Comics for today, September 20th?
Correct.
Does that sound right?
That's correct. Except for, it's the day before, but yes.
Sure. Okay, yes.
Sorry, I always break kayfabe.
You are really ruining this for me. And also, you haven't been introduced yet.
No.
And also...
You asked me!
I'm joined today by a person who I should not have been talking to. Bob. Hello, Bob. How's it going?
It's me. Hi, I'm here.
All right. Oh God, I'm so punchy. It's been such a long fucking week. This has been a brutal week for me, but I have soldiered on for comic books.
Admirably.
I'm here because comic books have promised a brighter future, a future in which men and spiders can get along in radioactive ways that we could never have imagined before. These are not your daddy's comic books.
No. Your daddy would never pay $5.99 for a comic
book. Oh my God, no! My daddy would have a heart attack looking at the price of comic books today. But let's forget about that.
It used to cost a dime.
Yep.
That's what my dad would say, because my dad was born in 1930.
My dad was born in 1939,
Ooh,
so he would have
youngin'.
similar thoughts.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's go through this. There's a massive stack of comics, so we're not going to say too much about stuff. We're just going to kind of plow through.
I promise to say no more than one sentence about any comic, and most comics say to say no sentence.
So you are lying, but Alpha Flight is a comic book.
It is.
And that's pretty much what we need to say about that. Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's still pretty good.
It was first, so I read it and forgot it already because there's so many comics. That was a run-on sentence.
That is fair. I can believe that. I did not read this comic this week, but damn, that is a great cover. Madam Satan.
I flipped through it.
She's in the public domain, so people are excited about this comic book. I loved this comic. I loved Uncanny Avengers. I thought it was awesome. I'm really enjoying the story. I know that this isn't your cup of tea, but it is mine, and I thought this was great.
I thought Deadpool was good in it.
I love the fact that Deadpool has been basically they've kind of fixed Deadpool in this comic, I think.
Yes.
In a way, where it's basically he's no longer just some dumbass. He's actually thinking and doing things, that make sense. I think it's interesting that he can communicate in a way that I can't.
Now. I'm allowing myself to respond to things that you say, and that is that he does fill a role that he previously doesn't fill in his own dorky comics, and it's good. This was an enjoyable comic book for me to read.
He's good comic for me to read. My first week in the United States, I enjoy comic book. I enjoy movie, from television program.
My last Bob Bartakamus.
These are all things I enjoy in my stay in America. Anyway, Sean's new book, The White Knight Presents Generation Joker, is out.
Final issue.
This is the final. I keep saying Sean, but really it's
Katana.
Thank you, Katana Collins.
I anticipated your failure.
Clay McCoy. Listen, it's funny when people have secret names.
Yes, I'm on.
I would be very bad with if I ever knew Superman. On
Facebook this week, someone posted a panel by Marshall Rogers, but it autocorrected to Marshall Tigers, and I was like, I'm going to change my name to Marshall Tigers.
Is that some sort of militaristic tiger force?
Yes.
Hopefully not the actual tiger force from Vietnam with the ear necklaces.
No.
Okay, good.
None of that.
We got World's Finest Batman and Superman together.
I like it.
You know what? You're really sticking to this bit, and I appreciate it.
There's so many comics.
There's so
I
many
could not
comics.
wrap my hand around the stack of. I took one copy of every comic that came out, and I could not fit my hand around.
No. It is insane.
Actually, no, I could, but I barely could.
Yeah, this is a big week, and this is big game, huh? That's a great transition.
I did
That's
not
right.
read it.
Mark Millar and Pepe Larraz. bringing back some of the characters that you know and love from all of your favorite Mark Millar characters.
All of my favorites, like Guy Who Kills and Guy Who Swears and Lady Who Blows Up Things.
Like Jupiter's friends and
yes, the Super Friends.
Whoever else those
the
guys
Super
are.
Friends of Murder.
Yes. Murder Friends.
Yes.
You know what? I would totally buy Mark Millar's Murder Friends. You know what? This should have been called Mark Millar's Murder Friends.
Mark
Big
Millar,
Game was
if you're
called
listening,
Murder
we just
Friends.
named your next
We
comic
just
for
fixed the problem with this book.
Murder Friends. I think that's an Evan Dorkin comic. Oh, wait, that's Murder Family.
And yes, House of Fun.
Mm-hmm.
So Captain America, this is a new #1, and you have promised to not say too much, but I'm going to tell you, I think this book is phenomenal.
I thought it was good after some of the failure that was his story in that Marvel Comics 1000. It was nice to see him doing a good comic book story in Captain America.
Him do good comic book.
It was good. The color, I didn't love the coloring in it, but that's Marvel. They have the same person coloring all their comics.
Yeah, there were a couple of interesting coloring choices this week that I thought were a little off.
Over rendered. I think that it would.
I agree. I can see what you mean. I got used to it,
but it's a small gripe.
It's a small one because it reminds me a little bit of Origin. Do you remember the Wolverine Origin book?
Yeah, with that pencil-y shading. Yeah.
It had a bit of that going on.
But
which I liked in that because it was the first time I'd ever seen it. But then bringing it back, it's kind of weird. But this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is the best Captain America solo comic that I've read in probably 4 years.
It feels like a real Captain America comic, and it also, the one thing I will say is they'll have to watch out for is that it's very firmly rooted in the Marvel universe in a way that's kind of like the people that grew up reading Marvel when they write, it'll be they all hang out. And some of the things that are going on in some of these titles that they gotta Straczynski will just use whoever and not give a shit about what's happening in their comics. So there might be some continuity stuff, but do you care? Yeah. I don't care.
But I mean, we also don't. I think that they're giving us such a wide breadth of time through which this comic occurs that you kind of don't know when it is. Like Fantastic Four shows up.
Correct.
That's kind of the thing that's going on, and if they're having an adventure or whatever right now, it doesn't matter because
how they handle that.
Don't know when this is, and it takes an afternoon, or actually it takes 2 minutes because they go into a different dimension where time moves differently. And blah, 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 which is pretty clever.
I like how they handled it.
Catwoman.
It's
57.
Good. There's a cool character reveal in this that I was like, ooh, cool. If you're a DC person, you might want to peg this one on your check it out at least.
Nice. On the check it out meter. Falling fairly low on my check it out meter would be the Cult of Carnage Misery.
I skipped it.
I did not check it out.
Don't care about it. I don't understand how there's so many fucking Carnage comics that come out. They must be really popular, but I don't get it.
They are not.
I don't get it.
100% are not,
but
and
why?
I don't understand. If you look at the numbers of what sells, you would see that there's nothing working. And then so Sony releases this movie, Let There Be Carnage, and it's like, everybody loves Carnage. People went, we don't care about Carnage. Flops terribly. Then Marvel says, aha, we'll make them like Carnage by releasing a new Carnage comic every week. And people go, we don't care about it. And it doesn't work. People cared about Zeb Wells and Clayton Crane, period.
Right.
It was Wells Crane. That's it.
Wells Crane. This one is just there's the Osborn family is just too fucked up now. You just gotta
they are a little on the fucked up.
Put them on the back burner for a bit, couple of years, you do that with Thor. You can't do that with Norman Osborn's wife.
Nope. No, that's weird shit.
I don't know.
We have also this week we've got a new issue of Cyborg where he joins the X-Men and fights the new Iron Man Sentinels. Oh wait, no, that's a totally new character called Nimrod. Wait, nope, sorry, it's Cyborg Borg. Who is this?
I don't remember his name.
He's like a football robot. It's like the dancing robot from the football titles.
I don't know. It's just a new villain for Cyborg to fight, and I like the Cyborg comic.
Really? Is it good?
Yeah, I think it's good.
I think I read the first one and thought it was really boring.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to like Cyborg, maybe it is boring for you. Like,
I have always wanted to like Cyborg. I've never enjoyed
It's not
a
as-
solo Cyborg story.
it's not as good as his DCU series when, like DCYOU, when they did that relaunch.
Yeah.
That was the best Cyborg comic that they've done.
That was
It's not
really
as
cool.
good as that, but I like it. I'm a Titans guy, though. I'm just like, put
That's
Cyborg
the thing,
in a
though. Is
comic.
like I don't think I would like a changeling comic. Like I don't think.
Oh,
that
I would totally.
That makes any
I would
sense.
totally read the shit out of a good Changeling comic, except for
don't
he's
know, man.
Beast Boy. He's no longer Changeling.
Or Beastling.
Beast Boy.
Change Boy.
He's Chang.
Okay, so
I don't. What the hell just came out
What?
of my mouth?
So what if? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna pitch something to you.
All right. I know
Now
what it is.
imagine a world.
Okay.
What if Dark Carnage? Huh?
Well, it's
What if? Wait. What if Dark Carnage?
what if? Here's the thing: is number one, your title sucks because like it's what if dark, which is just remember when DC did what if or no, it was else dark multiverse.
Yes. Yeah,
Elseworlds. And then they're like, Marvel's like, well, hey, what if we? It's like sometimes what if is dark, and sometimes it's like the Watcher wearing a tutu doing goofball shit. You don't need to call it dark or whatever. Just do what if Carnage was whatever the fuck he does in this, which I actually flipped through every page of this comic and could not begin to tell you what it's about. That was way more than one sentence.
But who cares? Because it's Carnage, and he is already the darkest character. He's a mass murderer who is made out of alien blood. His blood is made out of aliens, and he murders people with giant sentient bio knives. He is already as dark as it gets.
It is pointless to call something what if dark. It's pointless. It's absolutely pointless. It's just what if.
I mean, it's what if dark, sure, but I mean,
remember the what if where Phoenix blew up the entire fucking Earth? Like that was dark. They didn't have to call it what if dark. Phoenix blows up the Earth.
Okay, but then let me pose another question.
Okay.
What if Deadpool batter blood?
What if? What if Rob Liefeld got someone more talented than him to ink him, and that's what happened?
What if Marvel lost the ability to use grammar properly? You would wind up with what if Dark Carnage and
what if Batter Blood?
Okay, but now we have this Detective Comics.
Yes.
This is a what if Detective Comics was super racist.
Is it super racist?
I can only imagine. I mean, I feel like it's probably difficult to turn to a book from the 30s on any page and not find something super offensive.
I mean, there's a part where he slams a picture of two pigs on top of two criminals and their heads stick out on the pigs' bodies, and then he punches them in the face.
That is cruel to pigs.
It's the first appearance of the Penguin. The one thing that I thought was notable about this comic book is there's a which one was it? It's called Cliff Crosby, and the art in it is as good as anything that's coming out today.
I mean, that is something that
it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat.
Notice about these is the
Sometimes.
ridiculous quality.
I mean, many of them are drawn like adventure
Sure,
serials of the
sure,
1930s, and they look really bad.
But this one, pretty good.
No, it's all right. I picked it up even though it only had one Batman story in it. Not like last week when there was like that Batman #1 that had 3 Batman stories or 4 or something like that.
That's like the most Batman stories.
Although this is Detective Comics and not Batman, so you don't get...
So suck it.
Yeah, I don't know that I would have reprinted this one, but it's still cool to read it.
Yeah, I get why. I mean,
it's Penguin. Everybody loves Penguin just like they love Carnage. AKA nobody does.
I feel like the Riddler, Penguin, and Carnage could all get on a boat together.
Yeah,
all go hang out in the island of misfit toys of villains that no one gives a shit about.
Dipshit toys.
Nobody buys it. But you know what they do buy?
What?
They buy Fish Flies by Jeff Lemire.
Do they?
Actually, yes, they did.
Nice.
This sold quite well, and for probably good reason.
Yeah. It's a chunk of comic.
It is a chunk of comic, and it's also really interesting. Like, I like when his art is appropriate, and this is probably as appropriate as this art has ever been to a story.
Yes.
Like when you read this and you go on to, there's a section of this comic that occurs in a desolated, like, post-apocalyptic looking town where it's just like it looks like there's nobody on the streets, there's nobody anywhere. It's like a fucking S-Mart with a crooked sign, and it just his art is so perfect for showing something like that.
Yeah.
It's very
anything lonely looks good.
He's a sad little boy. Let's face it, Jeff Lemire, you know what? If you need a hug, come on by. We'll give you a hug. Ronin, book 2.
Did not read it.
Did not either. Gargoyles, book Dark Ages.
Did not read it.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
You know what you did read?
I did.
You read this.
I liked it, too. I think it has like a backup story in it that I was like, why does this have a backup story in it? Maybe I'm misremembering that. But there's a part in here where Jon Stewart just gets to be a badass Green Lantern. He doesn't have a ring anymore. He just has like the power is inside him, which is fine.
So his ring was just Dumbo's feather.
Yeah, the only complaint I have, okay, it's just one story, but the only complaint I have with it is that there's a new Green Lantern in it who is not Guy Gardner, but who looks exactly like Guy Gardner, and I'm like, why you could have made him look.
His name is Guy Gardner.
He looks exactly like Guy Gardner, and maybe, I don't know, I don't understand why, but maybe there's a reason for it. But if I were designing a new cool Green Lantern to hang out with Jon Stewart, it might not be one who looks exactly like another Green Lantern, so you're super confused every time he appears.
I gotta say, this, I'm sure it is probably fine and enjoyable, but it does play on one of the things that I dislike about the Jon Stewart character more than anything. I'm always like, okay, he's an architect and he's a soldier.
Yes.
And everybody always just does the soldier shit.
Well, this one doesn't. This one does the architect shit.
Really?
Yeah, he makes like a fucking Hellboy hand that has all these movable parts and shit.
Oh, okay. I take it back because I'm looking at this. I have not read it, so all I'm looking at is the fact that it's got literally his stripes from the military in the Green Lantern uniform or on the.
Oh yeah.
And he's holding a minigun, so I kind of assumed this was going the military.
Yeah, he doesn't have a Gatling gun in the comic itself.
Good.
He has like a really good moment where basically the premise of it, whatever, is that the Green Lantern Guardians are gone or something, and the United Planets, which exists in the present now, has taken over the Green Lanterns, and then they send this Green Lantern to him. They're like, you have a Green Lantern ring, and you're not allowed because we're the Green Lanterns now. And he's like, actually, it's fucking in me, and he just kicks the shit out of the fucking guy, and it's pretty great.
That's pretty great. I mean, I do love Jon Stewart. Like, he is...
Yeah.
I'm a weird one. I'm a Kyle Rayner and Jon Stewart. Those are my two guys.
Yeah,
as
Kyle
far
Rayner's
as the
good.
As far as the Green Lanterns, those are my two faves.
Yeah.
Grimm.
It's good.
It's good. Hades. It's played by James Woods.
Oh.
Sorry, it's canceled. We have canceled Hades. I'm sorry. Videodrome, still uncanceled.
Oh, that's good. That's because Debbie Harry's in it.
Yep. She uncanceled him.
Amazing.
For that one particular thing.
Yes.
And Harley Quinn.
This was a tough call
to.
There were so many books for me this week. I had to put some stuff back on the shelf. I would normally have gotten this.
There is some fine art.
I
flipped it, but I didn't read it.
Well, the middle one is by that Texas Blood artist, which I have now kind of started getting into, and then Juniba does a story that is gorgeous, and then the first story was really cool too. Gail Simone wrote it, and it's David Baldion. Anyway, whatever. That's way more than one sentence.
Here's a weird one. We got Hawk Girl.
I like Hawk Girl. I don't know why.
Why is the Court of Owls in this particular?
It's not the Court of Owls. It's just an owl-themed villain that she fights. I think.
I mean, the title of the story is In the Claws of the Court of Owls, so that seems weird that it's...
Maybe it is them. Yeah, no, they're on the cover. Huh. It doesn't...
The hell is this?
It's just weird. It's like an actual owl. It's like a man owl, and so I thought it was just
And his name was Mowl.
Yeah, they should have called him Mowl, I guess, but it doesn't feel like a... I guess Batman is in it. All right. Well, I just flipped through it, but I like the
I like how her buddy is looking more and more like the main character from Saga.
Why I'm trying to think of with that character, and it's like I like the kind of Starfire-ness ish of that character, but why an alien would develop a weird headband that grows out of its ears, because like what use does it have?
It
like
holds your
what
hair back.
Evolutionary use?
It holds your hair back evolutionarily.
Okay, is that what it is?
Yep. Okay, here's one that I literally don't remember ordering. I might be hallucinating. This may not exist. It's a book called Hexagon Bridge. I have never seen it before in my life. I don't remember putting it out today.
It's an image number one.
I am so
you don't
confused.
Remember.
I'm like, this doesn't ring any bells.
There was
at
a
all.
preview of it in a comic that I bought because I definitely had read part of it before, and I was like, "Is this a reprint?" And then I was like, "No, it's just I read a preview of it."
Yeah, it looks like it's
maybe
probably,
it was in Sacrificers, or maybe it was in the Free Comic Book Day or something.
Maybe I think it might have been. But it looks like a reprint of something foreign.
It's definitely foreign. It's definitely like European graphic novel size.
Shrunk.
Yeah, it's like it's got like huge white space at the bottom and top, like any American reprinted European comic.
Oh, you're not wrong. The art in this Guardians book is awesome.
Oh, it's really good. Yeah, that was another one that was tough to leave behind. I really like the art. What was the name of the artist? Alex Linz. Yeah, really. There's 2 comics from this artist this week, and I had to make sacrifices, but I really like the art. Very good. Guardians of the Galaxy.
I like that one of the writers' names is Jackson Lanzig, which sounds like
Danzig.
Lanning and Danzig wrote a comic together. Or
they write together. They are a writing partner team. They were the ones that did that last Captain America thing where it was like National Treasure.
Nice.
And they, I think, are an effective writing team, and it's hit or miss for me as far as their storylines. But I like this kind of space western theme of Guardians. I'm not buying it, but I think it's admirable and fun. And the art was good in the main series, but this series is also like just this one issue has I just love the art. I don't know why. I really dig it.
I read the first one and thought it was great.
Yeah.
But
it's Kev Walker is normally the artist who's got like that kind of like mainstream meets Mignola kind of style that I dig. But I don't know. There's something about this Alex Linz, that I just like. It hits all the Bob triggers. What's it called? A glimmer? We learned that. The opposite of a trigger is a glimmer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I learned that this week.
And so
it's like something that brings you positive feelings.
Like for me, that would be the movie Glimmer Man, starring Steven Seagal and one of the guys from In Living Color, who I can't remember which one. Was it Keenan Ivory Wayans?
Perhaps
one of them. It's probably a Wayans.
For you, it also would be the music of the Glimmer Twins.
Yes.
Is that Steven Tyler and Joe Perry? No, who are the Glimmer Twins?
I believe those were the Toxic Twins you're thinking
of. Toxic Twins? Who are the Glimmer Twins?
I know the Glamour Boys would be Living Color.
I'm Googling it.
In Hell We Fight is a comic book that came out this week.
True.
So is Junior Baker, the Righteous Faker. People keep letting Joe Casey make comic books.
I don't. Yeah, here's another nonsensical comic that Joe Casey has written, and this time it has even harder to decipher art. Joe Casey is a guy that I've never understood.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Even when he works with somebody like the last thing, and this is going back. This is like I think like 90s. Like the last thing I read from Joe Casey that I liked. There's 2. That Code Flash character.
Okay.
Just do that.
Yeah.
The guy with the barcode on his face and that looks like the question otherwise, which was clearly just like a failed question pitch that he just turned into something else. That was cool. And then he did a thing called Annual that had like 2 good stories in it. One was like a romance novel. A guy from a romance novel travels into the future and gets some like punk rock chick gets him addicted to heroin. It's like pretty funny. Had really good art by Nathan Fox.
Fun. Nothing's more fun than heroin addiction. But this is based on a comic that did terribly. This is like a
Yeah, right?
follow-up to Butcher Baker,
The
Righteous
Righteous
Maker,
Maker, and this is
which nobody cared about. And
a sequel for some reason. And Image Comic is just like, yeah, sure.
sure, we'll do anything. We're failing as a company. Why not put out a bunch of failing comics?
But Joe Casey, and he's part of that really successful
sure.
production company that does cartoons.
That's right.
Men of
He's-
Action or Man
yeah.
of Action. It's like Joe Kelly and Steve Siegel. And
They're
I
like,
think other
listen,
people.
you did Ben 10. Well, you can
Yeah.
do no wrong.
Yeah. He's just
Which
gotten
is
in.
not true. That, as we've seen from everything from Action Lab, that is not true. You can do tons and tons of wrong. Kea is out, which is
love
obviously beautiful and
Love it,
wonderful.
love it. This is the final issue of book 2, so
Oh.
that means there'll be a trade out soon, and it's great. Kea is great. I love it.
And speaking of really great, how about you talk about Tyler Crooks, Lonesome Hunter? I'm
my
going to be right
God.
back.
Okay, Tristan will be right back. So I'm going to break my rule of talking for only one sentence by telling you that. Oh, I have to look at the camera too because it's on. Hello. The Lonesome Hunters is a comic book about werewolves and sort of about magic and swords and things of that nature. But it's Tyler Crook and it's gorgeous. And the final panel of this comic book is easily panel of the week. It's the
Oh
coolest
my
fucking
God,
thing.
it's so good.
so fucking cool. I love this comic. It's great.
It is great.
How did I do? Oh, now I want one too. Can
You
I take
did
a break
great.
to get
I
one
mean,
of those?
Sure. Here, I'll put it on. There we go. I'll do
All
that,
right.
and then you
I'll
can
be
go
right
over there. Now it's on me while I'm drinking this delightful, bubbly orange cream fake soda. ASMR, or the opposite thereof. Okay, Loki is out. Man, you sure can make a weird noise when you open a soda. That is a talent.
Wait, I did? What was weird about it?
You're just a real total freak, Bob.
I just opened it. It's your soda, man. You bought it.
Oh crap! It's also in frame in the in the picture in picture.
Wait, it is?
I just
The soda?
did.
Oh,
no,
your
no,
soda.
No, mine was.
I'm lowering myself a little bit.
You're lowering yourself just to be here, to be honest.
Hey,
Loki is a comic book.
where he fights Bullseye? Just okay.
This is a real Godzilla versus Bambi situation here.
Well, there's
You're
this-
literally talking about a fucking god and a dude who shoots people or throws stuff good.
Well, Bullseye does this thing where he finds a book that has magic pages,
Yes.
and then he makes paper airplanes out of the magic book pages, and then uses them to do things that I was like, he's beating people with paper airplanes, but I guess it makes sense in the story.
Sure.
Anyway, whatever.
The truth hurts, especially when wielded by Bullseye. Here we have issue 2 of The Madness.
Did not read.
It was the first one was cool. I liked it.
Nice.
Monarch is out, the book that
That's-
nobody reads.
But also is drawn by that same artist from Guardians of the Galaxy, Alex Linz. That's the other
Yes.
one by that same artist.
yeah, the art is wonderful in this book. I can't follow
Jesus
it to
Christ.
save my life.
The Glimmer Twins is Jagger Richards.
Gross.
Sorry. You love the music of the Rolling Stones is what I meant to say.
You're a monster. How dare you accuse me of that? Money Shot. It's a comic about doing it.
Yeah, it sure is. It's about a little bit more than that.
Nope.
No,
It's
there's
only about
it's
doing
not just doing it. It's also feeling it.
Here is
Touching it.
Nightwing. It's a comic about doing it.
Nightwing is
with
cool.
Nightwing.
I don't know that Nightwing is I need 2 stories in a single issue comic, but other than that, the first story was really interesting. I was like, how are they going to do a pirate story with Nightwing? It's plausible and it's fine. And the backup story is him cooking food with Cassandra Cain. And I'm like, does this really need to be a $4.99 comic?
Yes, it does.
I guess.
We've already found that Superman cooking food is.
I mean, Superman cooking food is a good.
Superman eating
just
ramen
eating food.
is the best comic book
Yeah.
out there. So this is pretty good.
It's a volume too. I saw there's multiple volumes of that. There's more
there's
coming.
There's always more food for him to eat.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other planets full of food for him to eat. For God's sake, we're just talking about Japan right there. He can not only can he go to other countries, he can go to other planets.
I guess
Dimensions.
that's a genre of manga that's just comics about people eating food. It's like a whole thing.
Of course.
Which you would know, but I don't because I'm ignorant of other cultures.
I don't know shit about shit, dude.
You know about manga. You buy it for the shelves.
Dude, I just look at a computer screen and I go, that title's funny. And then I click buy. That's it.
That's cool.
You pretty much got it.
It's just that easy.
That's how it is to run a comic shop. You go, that comic's dumb.
That looks funny.
Yeah, I like it. It's really, you would be surprised at how close it is to that. I look at a comic like Panya, The Mummy's Curse, and I say, that's not going to sell very well. And so I only buy a couple of them. And guess what? I'm very correct about that.
Yeah, I buy almost every Hellboy comic, and I am not buying Panya, The Mummy's Curse.
Yeah, you know what? There's nothing more boring than a fucking mummy.
Well, especially like, I don't know. It's like one of those things too, where it's like he's clearly doing it for a specific reason, and there'll be some comic, a year from now that's like, oh, like this happened in Panya, The Mummy's Curse, and I'll be like, fuck, why didn't I buy that fucking comic? But
no,
like,
you know why he's doing it.
The thing is that even if I did buy it, I wouldn't remember it.
No, if he's anything like me, the reason he's doing it is because he's like, oh shit, I had a Frankenstein comic. Oh, here's the mummy comic. I'm going to slip that one in there.
Oh, you think he's just
here's
doing
Jim
the monsters?
Bob, the werewolf something. And then,
man.
Shit, check it out. We happen to have a comic 3 years from now that's a bunch of monsters hanging out together. And that is all goddamned worth it. So I will support him in this venture.
Okay. I didn't pick up on that.
And speaking of ventures that I support people in,
Venture Brothers.
I support the venture of Predator versing Wolverines.
Versing.
Oh my god, I want him to verse all the Wolverines. I fucking love this comic.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was so good. I said it before. I mean, I legitimately, the second that Marvel bought Fox, or that Disney bought Fox, and those characters were available, I was like, oh, Alien versus Predator versus X-Men. I was like, this is gonna happen. It's a no-brainer.
I'd just do Brood versus Aliens.
I mean, Brood versus Aliens is also a no-brainer. That's gonna happen. But it's also going to be, Wolverine versus Aliens. That's gonna be a thing. And I'm totally into all of this. I've got to say, I was super impressed with the way that they did this story. It was much smarter and more multi-layered than I would have ever guessed.
Yeah,
that they would do.
I like the legacy of the battle and how they established it, happening from the early days of Wolverine through to the Liefeldian present.
Yes, I love that it happened when he was a kid. This is not a big spoiler, but this goes all the way back. He encounters them when he's young. He encounters them when he's in Weapon X. He encounters them all through his life. Yeah. And this is the last time, and we're introduced to him having gotten his ass handed to him by a predator.
Yeah, he's got giant chunks missing.
He's missing big old chunks. So it's pretty amazing. It is a beefy-ass comic. It's a good read. It's big. It's pretty. And it's everything I wanted out of a Wolverine fighting a Predator comic. I mean, it's just awesome. It's really awesome.
The Greg Land does the young Wolverine part, and then I can't remember who does the moderns, but it's like kind of like a Image era like style kind of. Ken Lashley. There you
go. We have From the Pages of Barbaric, Queen of Swords.
I did pick this up, but it didn't make sense to me, so I didn't really read it.
This is one that I hadn't really been getting. I don't know if I even had been getting it previously for the store. I just knew that Corinne did it, so I was like, oh shit, I gotta support Corinne, so I'm getting more of these. And I realized later, I don't need to support Corinne at all. She's getting gigs doing expensive variants for Marvel because they love her, like her weird Art Nouveau thing that she's doing with monster stuff.
Cool.
And I found out that was a big deal, and that like now she's going to be the next big thing with all these like variant covers. Oh, guess what? Oh, is she doing one of the Rad Wraith variant covers? Oh, hell yeah, she is. So, nice. Just saying. Anyway.
Got in on the ground floor there.
Got in on the ground floor. Rare Flavors.
This was Ram V and
Philippe Andrade,
however you say it.
Andrade? Well, you got me.
Yeah,
man.
I don't know, man.
It's
the art's good. The story is interesting. It's not my cup, but it is definitely someone's, and it looks good. It looks like, I would say, someone who liked that Leela Starr Ram V series might also like this. Look good.
Yep. This is The Forged
Yep.
by
Greg Rucka.
Cool G Rucka. He don't drink vodka. Yes, that's good stuff.
Hey, we made it halfway through the stack.
Woo! All right, let's take a pause. Let's just
Let's just breathe.
shake it out. All right.
I'm gonna take a sip of this key lime juice that I pulled out of the fridge.
I got to tell you, these sodies, they're pretty good.
Oh, I'm not a big fan of them, to be honest.
Really, you're not a fan of the adding vanilla to an existing flavor to make it into creamsicle versions of itself?
Yeah, Allie likes them.
I'm a fan.
I like
A straight flavor.
I like a tap water.
Oh, I see. You're just talking about the concept of fizzy waters in general.
Oh, I like seltzer water. I usually would mix it with juice.
I'm in general, I'm more of a fan of Polar because they're a family-owned company. They're kind of
Oh, are they really?
better folks. Yeah, I mean, not that I'm
Interesting.
saying anything about the bubbly folks. I don't know nothing about
I
them.
assume they were made by Michael Bublé.
I believe they hired him to do some sort of fucking commercial at some point, and it was obnoxious and poorly done. If that is my friend Aaron that made that commercial, I do apologize. It's probably not your fault that it sucked. Anyway, Red Sonja, number 3.
I hear tell this series is good for fans of the Red Sonja. I do not like it very much, but that said, I
But
think
have
that
wait,
if
have
you are
seen the boobs though, they're like boobs though.
I like this writer, Gronbeck, and I have
like
it
the
on
name.
good authority that if you're predisposed to enjoy a modern day Red Sonja comic, that this is a good one to read, and I trust my friend Daniel to make that judgment.
Nice. Up next, we have a reprint of everybody's favorite boxy little robot made by Parker Brothers, Rom the Space Knight.
Rom, if you want to.
Rom around the world.
Rom around the world.
What I really enjoy about this is I have a leather jacket that I sewed a random, like, I'm not a huge Kiss fan or anything, but I found a vintage Kiss patch
Ooh.
at a yard sale or something for $1, and so I sewed it on my leather jacket with great difficulty because I was dedicated to this endeavor for some reason, and it is in this issue that
Oh,
you
nice.
could buy it out of this issue of ROM.
I
thought that was really funny.
I was telling you earlier, and we'll tell the listeners that one of the things I really enjoyed about this facsimile is how many times Batman appears in it. I don't know why it strikes me like in a 70s comic I would never blink at it, but for some reason in this like modern IP world where Captain Marvel can't be called anything but Shazam because of lawsuits or whatever, like seeing Batman digitally recolored in a Marvel comic is like just like an odd thing, and there are many. Batman is in advertisement form many times. I think at least 3 times.
That is very strange.
Like, oh, look, it's Batman. There was also like a weird rubber mask where it's like Batman mask, but he has like a yellow Batman symbol on his forehead. Like, is that really where you want to put the target, Batman?
Oh, Batman.
Remember when they explained away the yellow oval by saying it was a target for criminals to shoot? It's like they put it. It's like, why would you not put it somewhere non-lethal?
I feel like that really hangs a lantern on the bright red Robin costume.
I know, right? Yeah. Oh my God, Dark Robin. I keep seeing this. Like, I'm sorry. I don't want to go to it, but like. My Microsoft work homepage that has a bunch of news stories, and it's like because I only click on the comic book ones now, it's just like all I get is comic book stuff, and it's fan art imagines Robin in the new Batman Pattinson, and I'm just like, Robin Dark is like the dumbest fucking thing. It doesn't. He's literally the point of Robin is to not be dark. It's like. We made him dark.
What if he was though?
What if dark?
Yeah, but like, what if dark?
What if dark, man?
What if Dark Man? Oh, what if Dark Man?
Oh man, what if dark? Who owns Dark Man?
God, Sam Raimi, I think, still owns it outright. I think
Cool.
I think it's an independent property. I think Renaissance Pictures owns Dark Man. I hope so. But I mean, who is Dark Man?
Does Dark Man have his own Dark Man-iverse?
The Dark Maniverse? Yeah, I hope so. Does he live in the dark mansion?
Oh man, what if
if he doesn't live in the dark mansion,
he better. But what if Darkman? Bear with me. What if Darkman met Duckman?
Tragically, the creator of Duckman is dead, so we'll never know.
Oh, we'll never know. What about Duckman? What about Darkman?
Portland
Dark
resident
Wing Duck.
and creator of Duckman.
Oh,
I believe, yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
I believe he passed away recently.
Oh,
and he lived on peaks.
oh, that's a bummer.
I mean, it's a bummer that he had to live.
Did
on
he
a
have
terrible
family?
island. I don't
Does
know.
no one own Duckman anymore?
Let's find out.
I need to find Duckman comic books. There are some.
I hate that if I ever met Jason Alexander, all I'd say was, "Holy shit, it's Duckman!"
It's fucking Duckman. I would feel the same way if I met John Lovitz. I'd be like, the critic.
It's the fucking critic. What
Sick.
the hell? Oh my god. Same. And here we have Sega.
Sega.
The Sega of Swamp Man.
What?
Who cares? It's Saga. It's a comic book.
Saga. Oh, yeah.
It's about a saga of some
Yes,
sort.
it is.
Savage Squad 6. It's about a squad of 6 savages.
Yes, it is.
This is about a scrappy little dog with a backpack.
Yes, it is.
This is about some sirens in the city, and the sirens in the city.
Hot town, sirens in the city. This is good. It's written by the same writer as Moon Girl, and also the Fire and Ice comic that was so good that came out recently, and also Carrie Randolph is the artist, and the art's really good, and the coloring's really good.
The art is fucking nominal as far as I'm concerned.
Top notch.
And also
it's a top notch comic book.
Whoever this kid on the cover dressed like LL Cool J is my new favorite person in the world.
Nice.
If I could be reincarnated as anyone, it would be LL Cool J. Something is killing the children. Something is killing them. What is it?
Still, jeez, how many are left?
I mean, I'm looking at this cover, and this horse is looking mighty fucking suspicious. Of the bunch of them on this cover, I think it's that horse.
This cover looks like someone painted like a bigger picture and then they just like zoomed in on a detail of the picture.
It sure does.
I mean, I don't hate it, but
Gunslinger Spawn. He looks like a member of the ICP.
What if Gunslinger Spawn?
It's a good question.
Dark.
What if Jack Kirby's Star Warriors starring Adam Starr and the Solar Legion was a comic book?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. It's one of these Tom Scioli
digging a further hole for their popularity, where they're like, hey, you know how we used to have popular books? How about we just keep doing things that are so niche that we go completely underwater?
Well, I mean, I think that there is a large audience for people who collect the work of Jack Kirby, which is what this is. It is all Jack Kirby artwork in it.
It's Tom Scioli artwork.
No, it is not. It is Jack Kirby artwork.
Well,
no, remixed. So basically what they've done is they've taken the original Jack Kirby story and art, and they have rearranged it and made it into a different comic book. So it's Kirby. It's Golden Age 1940s Kirby. So it doesn't really look... It looks like it could be Scioli because it's so proto-Kirby. It's like one of the first things that he ever developed on his own. Mm-hmm. Or perhaps it's a giant joke and it's just intended to look like that. But I think that's what it is.
I mean, that is what it was pitched as.
Yeah, that's what...
remixed.
That's what he does. And he does other stuff on Instagram where he remixes like panels from different comics into different shapes and forms, and I mean, more power to you, I guess. But the thing about this for me is it's like, do that as a comic, but don't charge $10 for it. I just really think that like there's no thought process into pricing comic books anymore. It's just like once we went past $2.99, it was just like, let's just charge fucking whatever. $8, $7, $12, like who fucking cares? Because you'll buy it if you're going to buy it, and if you're not going to buy it, we don't care. And I don't understand that. But whatever. This is interesting to me. The Star Warriors, Adam Starr, whatever it is.
I'll tell you,
But I ain't paying $10 for it.
The Star Warriors that I care about all say beep boop.
There's a lot of beep boop in this fucking comic book. A little bit too much for my taste.
Oh my god, this is
literally
shit.
Pages of like.
You made a joke about this earlier, and I was like, how bad could it be? It can't just be like fucking droids going beep boop and floating through space for the entire comic.
Yes, it can.
Holy, you gotta be kidding me.
Yes, it can.
Also, I was like, okay, nobody. I mean, in a room full of, let's say it's only 5 people in editorial and art and whatever. How many of them, if you say D squad to them, D hyphen literally anything in modern context, is no one going to be like, most people, if they say D, they're talking about dicks.
Well, and it says dark droids, so for some reason having DR, like KOI, like it just looked like it said Dink Squad to me, like when I looked at it. But the thing that really gets me about it is like the weird Lassie quality of it, where it's like bleep bloop blop bleep bloop bloop, and it's like, oh, you say C-3PO has become a bad guy because of a virus, bloop bleep blop bloop bloop bloop.
In the best of circumstances, that's true. In the worst of circumstances, like we said, there's literally a droid who's going bleep bloop, and there's no one answering him, and there's no translation.
Also,
like, what the fuck?
I'll posit a question to the world of Star Wars and to the fans of Star Wars, and I understand that I shouldn't take it seriously in this way.
Yeah, you should.
But if we're positing a culture that creates sophisticated and intelligent robotic life forms, maybe they're not life forms, whatever, I don't know. Some of them can speak English or whatever language is spoken in Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Some of them can speak hundreds of languages. Why would you make a robot that only says beep bloop? Why would that be a thing? Why not just make a little chip that goes inside the bleep bloop so that it says, hey, this is a dangerous situation we're getting into, instead of being like bleep bloop and they're like, yeah, I know R2, that's the way it is, ha ha ha.
Because it's much more fun when he says bleep bloop.
It is. I mean, in the visual medium, it does work.
It works. It's adorable. But I will say that it's
sorry.
funny that there is one that is like completely boring and pointless. And then the other one that's up against it is the Bounty Hunters issue, which is General Grievous and like Cad, whatever his name is, I didn't read
this one. Ooh.
And it's just awesome. It's just really fun, and it's like Star Warsy as hell, and it's all your Bounty Hunter friends love it.
Ooh, you got 4 LOM.
Gotta love him. But yeah, Bounty Hunters.
I don't
Dark
hate
Droids, Bounty Hunters.
I don't hate dark droids in general.
No,
I just found it
this
sort of infuriating to
fun.
read a comic where there were multiple pages of
100%
beep boop dialogue.
100%, especially considering it's a $6 comic and they're charging you for pages and pages of beep bloop. All right, Strange Academy,
Dink Squad,
Moon Knight, featuring the Dink Squad. That is a comic that came out.
Yes,
it's fine. Turtles, Stranger Things.
There's a really funny part where they see Krang for the Stranger Things characters see Krang for the first time. It's pretty funny.
That's adorable.
Yeah. They're like, what the fuck is that?
I mean, but seriously.
Yeah. Really, seriously, what the fuck is that?
No, really, like, what the fuck is that? Stranger Things is out. That's the regular Stranger Things. We got Superman the Chained.
Yeah.
That's a good comic.
The art is kind of wonky in this one, but I like it. I like this current Superman run.
The Changed. Nothing stays the same. Chained. And you hit the ground running.
Chained.
This is Tenement, not the confusing movie, but the tie-in to Bone Orchard. Here is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Finally, Michelangelo is skateboarding.
I do like the cover.
As he needs to be all the time.
That's a cool cover.
It is a great cover.
He should be skateboarding more in covers.
He should absolutely be skateboarding more. I do question how much air he can get on an ollie weighing probably 400 pounds, but that's
Do the turtles weigh that much?
I mean, I think that in canon they're established to be less, like around 200 pounds a piece, which I think is crazy because when you look at the size of them, they would have to be like 400 pounds. You think of like what a sea turtle weighs, like a regular sea turtle that's just kind of like looks about the
I mean,
size.
the shell itself probably weighs like a fair amount.
Yeah, it seems like they're really weighed down.
Even if it is only a half shell.
Oh shit! I forgot that they're only on a half shell. Okay, no, you got me there. Terror War.
It's good.
It's a terrible war. Time after time.
Good.
It's a good song by Cyndi Lauper. But this one's called Time Before Time.
I hate that
and that's
song.
different.
Yeah. Anyway,
I love that song,
I do
but
not
I mean,
like it.
I love it in a way that it makes me very sad. Titans number 3.
I like it. I'm a sucker for a Titans comic.
Yep. I'll tell you what I'm a sucker for.
Yeah.
Uncanny Spider-Man. This was one of my favorite books of this week.
Yeah, it was a good one.
This coming hot on the heels of all of those Sins of Sinister books where they're like, look, it's this funny thing and it's mashed up with this thing, and this is a funny thing, it's mashed up with this thing.
Yeah.
I was expecting this to suck on toast.
Yeah.
And it did not. It was actually multi-layered. It was a fun X-Men comic. It was a fun Spider-Man story. And it was a smart way to combine the villains of both stories together.
Yes.
In a way that was super interesting. It's a Vulture story of all things, which I thought was cool. There's just so much to it. I love him in it. I love this new cult of Spider-Man stans that they're talking about on these internet forums who are following Spider-Man everywhere. And they're like, wait, what are you? You're some sort of new spider thing. I can't wait. This is so exciting.
Yeah.
I just think it's great.
This is definitely the only and first comic post like fall of X, which I've been just monumentally raging against for weeks, that I was like, that's cool and it makes sense. Like it didn't make me seethe with rage. It actually just made me think like that's cool. Yeah, it totally works.
Yeah, I thought it was super fun.
He doesn't.
I'm super into it.
Your point of him being called the Hellcrawler as opposed to
holy shit, are you kidding?
Which is from the comic, but for whatever reason, calling him Hellcrawler is a much more apt. He doesn't look spidery to me.
No,
he's got the tail, and I think it's the tail specifically and the pointy ears that make him seem not spidery. But he's got a spider on his costume, so it's spidery on that level. But like it's Nightcrawler with a Spider-Man costume on. But Hellcrawler, they should have called it that.
That is a great name. It's a great name. But I've got to say, if this is a calculated move by Marvel to
sell toys,
no, I mean, sure, it probably is, but to a certain extent, I feel like it's a bigger move to soften the character of Nightcrawler, who is, at the best of times, a Spider-Man adjacent type character. He uses a light, airy, happy-go-lucky, like swashbuckling, childlike. He's an interesting character, but he uses these qualities to mask a deep sadness and like a tragic childhood and all of these things. But he can be just a fun character, like he was in Excalibur, in the original Excalibur, and like even in the old X-Men comics, he was always a playful, kind of sprightly, childish character.
The personalities of X-Men always have had counterpoint kind of things. If you go back to the original 5, you've got Beast and Iceman being like the goofballs, where Cyclops being like the brooding, like, oh, I'm so tortured, and then like you have your Wolverine versus and then Nightcrawler being the counterpoint, or like the fun characters. Like it's good to have characters that are fun and to remember that they're fun and not turn them into like murder beasts or whatever. Like, so it was cool. I thought this was an enjoyable comic, and I really liked the last page with the like person who's coming in. I was like, that's cool. I like that. It was good.
I thought the explanation for his magic sword that comes out of hammer space, I was like, oh yeah, that is like the most clear and concise explanation for a really, really convoluted story thing that I've ever seen. Like he just instantly, it was like one panel to explain to Spider-Man why he had a magic sword, and it was like, oh, that was more clear than that entire arc of comics.
Was that the X of Swords thing?
Basically, yeah.
When everybody got a sword.
Pretty much.
I see.
Death of the Venomverse. What's going to happen? Is the Venomverse going to die? Yes.
Why does everybody have a verse?
I don't know.
Verse, Death of the Venom chorus.
How about Walking Dead? How about The Vigil? Those are comics. You like Wild's End?
I love Wild's End. This issue is my favorite of the series yet so far.
That is an
It's
adorable
really good.
little cover.
It's great.
It's great. We got The Witcher, Wild Animals. Witcher. I don't have that particular pretentious pronunciation.
I mean, I don't either.
I should foster it.
Being dumb.
Witcher.
Witcher.
We've got another book that I loved this week with Wolverine in it.
And the Hulk.
Wolverine number 37.
Yeah.
Holy shit, this is
pretty good.
Oh my god, thank you for fixing Wolverine. I love Wolverine, and I haven't been able to enjoy Wolverine for a while, and this is awesome.
Yeah, Wolverine is another post Fall of X one where it's just like, okay, like this is like the shit that they're doing with Kitty Pryde. It should be Wolverine that's doing that shit. Like, and it's good. I like that Benjamin Percy writer. He's good.
Me too. And I think this
felt like an annual to me. For some reason I thought it was an annual, but it isn't. It's just a regular issue of the series.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely kicking off an arc of him murdering off all of his clones.
Yeah.
But it's super interesting. This is just a one-off meeting of the Hulk, but this story where instead of the Hulk fighting him, it's a little bit of a spoiler to say that they don't fight.
Yeah.
But it was very well handled, and it really deflected like a bunch of generic stories that have done the same thing over and over and over and over again. And I was like, I've never seen this story before.
Yeah.
Oh, this is interesting. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
It reminds me a little bit of the kind of Gray Hulk era when it was like Hulk was like meeting people again for the first time. Like I like the current take on the Hulk quite a bit.
Me too.
Yeah, no, it was good.
I like long-haired Hulk.
Yeah, I like him hippie.
I like hippie Hulk. Wonder Woman number 1. A new era has begun for Wonder Woman. A wonderful womany era.
It's the art's very good. The story is okay. There's some real serious gaping plot holes in it.
There's some overly serious shit in it too.
Yeah, I mean it's Tom King. The last thing, Danger Street came out last week. And remember how much I was liking Danger Street?
Yep.
I fucking fell asleep reading that comic book. Like it was so fucking boring. He can write a boring ass fucking comic. This one is more, there's a hook and a premise that's like, okay, this is the new status quo and it'll last for however long it lasts before it goes. But like, there are some reasons why I think it's kind of stupid, but it was overall an enjoyable Wonder Woman comic. I think I'm going to stick around for a couple issues on this and see where it goes. I do really like the art. It's good.
Yeah, it's cool. I enjoyed this Wonder Woman comic a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
X-Men, it's a contest of chaos between Captain Marvel and Cyclops.
Yeah.
It's like, again, this is a Bambi versus Godzilla fight that is
I don't understand
confusing.
This whole thing.
That is a really, it's Hulk versus Howard the Duck all over again.
This was good, though.
This is so good.
Yeah.
I think Dark X-Men has been phenomenal so far.
It feels like a X-Men comic. It's good. It's good.
And
it has
not just because it's maggot-centric.
No, it isn't at all. But it's like who's writing it? Who's writing Dark X-Men?
Fox? F-O-X-E?
Oh, I don't know. Well, whoever it is
Fox and
understands like the team dynamic thing, and it's I think because it's like sort of on the outliers of the overall X-Men diaspora of current times, it's like it feels like a team that has like there's gravity to it.
And the fact
it's
that
cool.
I
thought it was really fun.
Is like it's a testament to how good it is.
I don't understand why she doesn't put on some fucking clothes though.
No, because she's a demon. But it also has my least favorite character in all of X-Men in it, and I'm still enjoying it.
Who's that?
Fucking Nightcrawler's fake dad.
Oh, Asmodel or Asrays.
Whatever. I can't remember which one is the game company that I purchased most of my educational games through, and which one is the demon that was retconned to be Nightcrawler's dad when they decided that
Is it Azazel?
That's what it is.
Azazel, yeah.
I hate him so much. I hate that storyline so much. It makes me so mad.
Yeah.
I know I've gone over this before, but it's like literally the point of the character is that he looks like a demon, but he's not a demon. He's a mutant, and his mutation made him look like a demon, and so he was persecuted as a demon, but he was really a holy person who wanted to be a priest. Great. What a cool story. The only thing you could do to ruin it is make him into an actual demon, but only a fucking asshole would do that.
Chuck Austin.
Chuck Austin. Fuck you, Chuck Austin. Go back to porn.
He's still a better writer than Jerry Duggan.
Jerry Duggan did some great Deadpool comics.
Yeah.
But Cockchew was really fucking stupid.
Yeah, it is really dumb.
Anyway, that's it. That's comic books.
We made it.
We made it through. There are so many
that?
trades too, but
oh yeah,
God,
there's that Slaughterhouse 5 graphic novel that looks really cool. There's an Archie musical.
Probably mention that
madness.
at least. That there is a novel, a graphic novel of Slaughterhouse 5 that is out.
It's gorgeous.
It is really gorgeous, and it's really funny that it's coming right as I'm rereading Slaughterhouse 5 for the first time since high school. So.
Oh wow! And you got looks like creepy archives.
I literally thought when I read that. The last time I read Slaughterhouse 5, I thought it was a sci-fi book. So that's how long ago I read it, is that I thought that it was meant to be taken literally, that he was actually abducted by aliens. So, it's been a while. I was not a particularly smart high school student. Anyway.
I've never read it.
Well, it's a metaphor for PTSD, and it's really fucking depressing.
That's probably why.
Anyway, but he's abducted by aliens that look like green woggly hands.
Oh, that's why there was
on
a hand
plungers.
with an eyeball in it.
Yep.
You should mention your event, though.
I should.
Mention that to you.
That's true. We have Jackie Kong, director of Blood Diner and many other things, Night Patrol among them. Oh my God, I love that movie, but boy, it does not fly anymore. Watching that in a modern context, I'm like, oh my, yikes. Anyway. Different times.
I've never seen it.
Yes, but it is. It has the unknown comic. It stars the unknown comic.
Oh wow!
And was the first movie featuring Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh wow!
It was actually the introduction of Andrew Dice Clay to the world. Was Night Patrol.
Right.
But Jackie made Blood Diner, which was a totally bootleg, unofficial follow-up to Blood Feast, using characters from Herschel Gordon Lewis's Blood Feast.
Cool.
And being so, it's the Return of the Living Dead to Night of the Living Dead of Blood Feast to Blood Diner. It's an intentionally funny movie that is gross and bloody and insane and just absolutely magical on all fronts. So she's going to be here October 29th to screen Blood Diner. If you haven't seen it, this will be the best way to see it, is with a bunch of people who probably know every single line and are going to be there to meet Jackie. But it's going to be $20, but it's going to be the best $20 you ever spent. She'll sign stuff for free. We're going to make a special. We're going to make it we already have the Tutman Cafe shirts.
Yeah.
Here we have the official Tutman Cafe shirts from Blood Diner. We're the only place doing officially licensed ones. And we are also going to do some sort of special thing for this event. And also, she will be here signing copies of her comics, spend the night. And it's really cool. And
nice.
Hey, maybe I designed the logo for issue 2. Who knows?
What?
Oh, my goodness.
Nice.
But she'll be here, and it's going to be a blast. And she is a delight. We're going to do a signing earlier in the day here, so that she can sign some comics. Then we're going to do a table there. It'll be great. It's going to be a whole thing. It's always a party with Jackie. She's a wacky person. She's a very Lloyd Kaufman-esque character.
Excellent.
If you were here for the party that we threw with Lloyd, it's probably going to be pretty similar. Maybe slightly less drunk than the party. Maybe less face tattoos than what was going on there. Were you at the Lloyd Kaufman party?
I was around. I don't know that I was there for all of it. I don't remember any face tattoos.
I have never seen so many people with full face tattoos in one room together after party.
I thought you meant people were giving themselves face tattoos.
No. We literally there were at least 30 people here with like big face tattoos in the store, and I was like, so that's the trauma, like that's your trauma audience. I love it. This is awesome. But that was
that
at
Geno's? Was there a film at Geno's?
So we did. There was Covered in Bees did the. Oh yeah, that was actually maybe two different things. Because we did. There was a party for one of them, and then we played Geno's Covered in Bees because we did the soundtrack for.
That's what I remember with.
We did the soundtrack for Poultrygeist, and then we kind of had like a bash at Geno's, and that was pretty fun. We did a screening at the Nick, then came back up to Geno's and did a show.
Nice.
And yeah, that was super fun. And then we had the other thing that was supposed to be the video for Return to Nukem High, but there was a total fuck up because it's a little inside baseball, but Lloyd's an older guy, and so Dropbox is maybe not his specialty. So we had written a song specifically for the soundtrack.
Yeah,
like it was about the movie. It was Return to Nukem High.
I've seen you play it live, and we gave them this thing, and he wound up with the wrong thing from the fucking Dropbox. So on the soundtrack to Return to Nukem High, he took something from what was it called? We did a thing called Covered in Bees Scores Your Movie. And so we had a folder called Covered in Bees Scores Your Movie because we were just like giving out stuff to different movies. And this was like instrumental shit that we did that was just like background music. And he took 3 of the background tracks and put those in. I was like, this one literally is Return to Nukem High, and it's called... Yeah, whatever. It's a good song, too.
Whatever. I love the song, but fuck it. Didn't get in.
Special edition.
Anyway, that's the story. And yeah, so come to this thing. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see you there.
We'll talk about it more before it happens, too.
Of course. There's plenty of time before that. It's a slightly before Halloween kind of event. It's going to be a blast. We're going to get some people in costume out front and do like, we're going to do this. We're going to do it right this time. This is going to be like legit. It's going to be a fun event.
Any listeners who are new will know that Halloween is a time when things happen around here.
It is the only time that I care about doing anything. So
I have some plans in the work for my radio show too for Halloween.
Nice. Excellent. So follow us at Actually Comics. Follow us at Coast City Comics. Purchase things from coastcitycomics.com. It helps us make the podcast. It helps us make the other podcast. Helps us bring things like Blood Diner and doing all of the events that we do. It helps us out a lot because obviously we've never made a fucking dime off an event that we've done ever. And so actually, shit, I'm lying. We made money off the Texas Chainsaw Massacre screening.
Oh,
that was 10 years ago. That was the first time we broke even or made more money than breaking even.
Wow.
We sold out the Texas Chainsaw screening. If we sell this one out, then I'll double eat my words, but I can almost guarantee we won't. So show up to it. It's going to be a blast.
Nice.
And you can follow Bob at
Dollar Binge. Yes. Someone recognized my when I bought some comics off someone online, and they were like, "Oh, you're Dollar Binge? I follow that."
That's awesome.
Like, it was pretty cool.
That's great.
Fed my ego a little bit. I was like, "Yeah,
people
know me."
I love it. Awesome. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.